A silver-tongued Foxian girl, Tingyun is the head representative of the Whistling Flames, a merchant guild officially approved by the Skyfaring Commission. She has such a way with words that often leaves her audience eagerly waiting for more of her captivating tales. As a result of her supervision, the Xianzhou trade fairs are now known throughout the cosmos. Try one's best to avoid conflict when possible, and persuade those who can be persuaded. That's Tingyun's motto. There's a saying, Foxians are born to do business. Linger a little while at the Sleepless Earl Tea House, and you'll come to appreciate this fact. There's something you don't know, says that Foxian woman, wafting her exquisite reticulated fan as she gazes at the skeptical man before her. Different lands raise their special type of life. If sand citrus seeds from the Bitterwater Confederacy are transplanted into the sacred soils of Vanwak, then they will grow into sweet oranges. This is naturally due to the fertile and balanced soils of Vanwak. And if the lightfish fry from Thalassa are introduced to my world and raised by the Vidyadhara at Scale Gorge Waterscape, they can double in size to over 3 feet long. The Whistling Flame's latest plan is to carefully select species with commercial potential and relay them via trade star skiffs for safe transport. Within 1 month, you'll get the first batch of goods back. These goods would add to the glamours of the Crystal Palace at the bottom of the Thalassan Abyss, and can even become a unique trading product for your nation. The man with gills blows out a few bubbles, which represents a slightly hesitant agreement in his culture. Then, his larynx pronounces some wondrous syllables.
I thought the Whistling Flames were speculative traders involved in arbitrage. Are you planning to change the current situation in the logistics industry, where the IPC reigns supreme? Tell me, how much do you want?
For a return service, we take 90%. A broker just flips product from one hand to the other, or rather, from one finned limb to the other. As the saying goes, real business talks no profit. Only by benefiting others can we hope to benefit ourselves. As long as the Lord of the Abyss and the Crystal Palace assents, then I'd like to enter into a a permanent partnership. What do you say?
On this day, Tingyun not only closed on a deal, but also formed a friendship for the Alliance. Tingyun was always different from the others. Foxians are synonymous with the quick and the agile. Their lightning-fast reflexes and keen senses have resulted in this, and it also makes for cheeky, playful juvenile Foxians. But Tingyun, this pointy-eared girl always looked fluffy and soft. Not only does she not vigorously pull on others' fur when meeting someone, she herself remains calm, even if someone pulls on her fur. With an innocent smile and her sweet voice, she would even urge the other person to stop. It's not hard to understand differences in human nature, but compared to her Foxian peers all busy tearing up their homes, Tingyun, who'd never been any good at combat, frustrated her parents who both served in the military at the Skyfaring Commission. Seeing as Tingyun wouldn't inherit the family business, the two shook off their prejudices and let their daughter blossom freely. As a result, a dazzling new star of trade dawned aboard the Xianzhou Luofu. With her warm personality and talented skills, this Foxian girl successively completed trade missions to 16 different planets and re-signed another bilateral agreement with the IPC. The famous Xianzhou Trade Bonanza, the Grand Fair, also developed into a famous fiesta under her advocacy. Speaking of Tingyun's 6-ribbed reticulated fan, it is a well-known ingenium made by the Artisanship Commission. Most merchants carry weapons in self-defense while traveling, but Tingyun is an exception. She refuses to equip any weapons that do not conform to her style, such as blades, lances, swords, and halberds, which are strong but ungraceful. And she considers booby traps like darts and needles to be too toxic and disgraceful. After thinking over things, Tingyun finally chose this carved reticulated fan. Put into her own words, here's why.
Business people cherish peace above all else. Carrying a weapon dishonors friendships and makes for bad business. My fan is different from a weapon. I can use it to cool myself off as well as cooling off a nasty business client. It's best if we can have just a nice chat. But if things don't go smoothly, then I just have to fan them harder and cool them off until they know I mean business.
However, if she ever hopes to be promoted to Helm Master, Tingyun's gentle personality will shift from being a strength to a stumbling block. After all, the Skyfaring Commission has always been run by ace pilots, all of them warriors baptized by the flames of war. Meanwhile, Tingyun doesn't have the knack for driving a star skiff, let alone a skill for killing. That's the main difference between her and the current Helmmaster of the Skyfaring Commission, Yukong. What's more, Yukong has already planned on handing over the future to Tingyun, but Tingyun doesn't know if she's truly qualified to take it on. To her, Yukong is not merely a trustworthy superior or even a savior during a crisis. In her heart, Yukong is also a kind of glorious idol. She views Yukong as someone to entrust her spirits in, as a beacon to guide her. She wants to hold on to that starlight, but has discovered that she can only chase in desperation from the shadows, until one day, that lone star said to her, "Times are changing. Xianzhou is changing. One day, this giant ship will grow utterly exhausted of a sky full of blood and war. When that time comes, the Skyfaring Commission will be your stage." She didn't know how much of what she said was a joke, but she carefully sealed these words into the envelope and locked it in the back of the drawer at her store. She resolved to never forget.
Even if I can't go into battle, there's still a chance for me to show my strength,
says the Foxian girl to herself. The Luofu is currently moored in orbit, undergoing reinvigoration after a campaign against the abominations. Flourishing commerce becomes the backdrop to this era. Understanding Yukong's expectations of her, Tingyun flies beyond the skies, seeking more alliances and friendships.
When it comes to who is the best Helmmaster on the Luofu, people will naturally say Madame Yukong's the champion. But if you ask me, my skillful oratory must count for some kind of helm mastery, right?
He immediately falls in love with the golden vessel and is about to buy it, but the Foxian girl drags him aside and whispers,
"Please return at night, Mr. Benefactor, and make up your mind then."
As promised, he returns at night. The same Foxian girl opens the door and smiles at him.
"Please follow me, Mr. Benefactor."
A ray of moonlight shines onto the base of the etched plate. The artisan had traced the petals with lines of various depths, and he would not be able to see such details without the moonlight. He finally recalls why this item is called "Carve the Moon, Weave the Clouds."